Hey, this is a question from Rio. Rio says, I'm 22 and I've suffered with anorexia since I was 15. I'm not a healthy weight, but my aim is to try and get there. However, I do not feel hungry at all. I feel full and I have no appetite. If anything, I feel sick most of the time. I also don't experience mental hunger. I don't think about food too much, as I work full time and I'm always on the go, so I'm always too occupied, which makes me think, do I actually have anorexia? I have the fear of most foods and I'm terrified of gaining weight. I have no periods and my body aches all the time, so I know logically that I do have an eating disorder. It's just the hunger thing that fucks with me. I hear all the stories about people experiencing extreme hunger, and I feel somewhat jealous because I don't have that, and I don't have mental hunger either. When I try and eat more, I feel sick and more full and just get nowhere with it. I take antidepressants, so that could affect my appetite. I was wondering if you had any advice on this. I can't find the answers anywhere, and I feel so confused. I don't know what my body is trying to tell me. Thanks, Rio. All right, so actually this is great because I just did a video on the opposite, somebody who has been in recovery for a little while, been eating a lot more food and had gained weight back up to where their weight had been pre-eating disorder, but still have really big mental hunger and and a lot of eating disorder thoughts and stuff going on. And their question was, do they need to focus on weight gain? And I'm like, actually, what you need to focus on is your physical and mental hunger, because that's the clue. That's just your body communicating with you. That's a wonderful thing. And so you don't need to judge it. You don't need to question it. Your weight certainly shouldn't be a factor of, well, I'm at a healthy weight range now, so now I shouldn't listen to my mental hunger. Of course you should. That is the key. Mental hunger is the key, if it's there. Because I did also say, sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, or maybe not, rarely is not the right word, but it's really frequent that mental hunger is there, but sometimes it's not. And in my experience, again, this is not across the board, but in my experience, for many of us, what happens is when we're really restricting and or when we're just really not eating very much food, it's almost like your brain even gives up with mental hunger. And I do know that I was often successful in making myself so bloody busy that I really didn't even have the time. And that worked sometimes. I certainly got to a point to it, I could be busy, and my brain was still full of food. And I couldn't distract myself away from it. But I also know that I could also sometimes, and probably earlier on, be successful in just completely occupying myself. There was no chance for me to eat. So it's like my brain didn't even bother with mental hunger. And what a lot of people find is that when you actually force yourself to eat and you get up past a kind of certain threshold, a certain amount of food, it's like your body then wakes up and goes there's food in the environment. And then the mental and physical hunger, or just the mental hunger, or the extreme hunger, or whatever it is, then that starts to come. So, but not with everyone. I've certainly worked with people that it's just not been there, and it's always been a case of force feeding. So you just have to sort of look at where you're at, and then, what's the most often the most common sense explanation or the thing to do? Because let's take your situation. You're underweight. You know you're underweight. Your body's struggling. You don't have a period. You ache the whole time. You know that you're underweight. And you know that you need to gain weight. But the problem that you have is no appetite. You still need to gain weight. That just means that the problem that you have to solve right now is, how do I force feed myself enough food? That's all you need to focus on. You do need to focus on weight gain, because you don't have that hunger as a guide. So you have to focus on getting your body weight up. Now, I anticipate that if you start to do that successfully, and if you start to successfully force yourself to eat a lot more food, and you start to successfully start some weight gain, I anticipate that what will start to happen is your body will start to wake up and that hunger will come, and then you just get to ride it. Even if it doesn't though, you always have to be looking at what's the issue here? The issue is that I am underweight. I'm under the weight that my body would naturally be. And You don't have to calculate or know your exact target weight to know if that's true or not. Target weights are such bullshit. It's really got to be about, it's difficult if you don't know what your body was like before your eating disorder, but then again, it's not really that much difficult, because deep down you do know what a healthy body weight range looks like. And deep down you do know that I need to push myself to put on weight. And also, like, when your body gets to its natural optimum healthy weight, what you'll start to find is that weight gain suddenly becomes like super difficult, even if you're just shoving so much food in your mouth. It's like your body's like, no, I want to stay here. But that's not what's happening with you right now, because you're not shoveling food in your mouth as much as you can. I bet that you could make really different choices. I bet that you could make much more nutrient-dense choices than you're eating now. And that's a harsh reality for a lot of us, because I was trying to gain weight for years and years and years, and I wasn't really. And even if you get full really quickly, there are things you can eat that are so nutrient-dense that you can force yourself to eat enough of those that you will actually gain weight. No, there's always a solution to that problem. I've never met anyone, and I've worked with a lot of people, I've never met anyone that could not gain weight if they ate enough of the right type of food. Never. And I've worked with a lot of people that have been like, oh, I've been trying to gain weight for however many years, just like I did. And I'm always like, bullshit. Because if you had been trying to gain weight, you would have gained weight, because it's not like I'm asking you to get in a rocket and fly to the moon. I'm asking you how to work out how to get as much food, calories, and energy into your body as possible. And that, if you have half a brain, and most people with eating disorders have more than half a brain, you can work out how to do that. If you really try to get more energy into your body, you will work out how to do it. And so for most of us, what we have to come to terms with is that actually it's very easy. If we really try to gain weight, we can do that very easily. That then we have to come to terms with, well, what actually is the problem here? And usually it's fear of weight gain that's the problem. So change the types of foods that you're eating, focus on that weight gain, attack that fear of weight gain, go into it full throttle, be brave and be curious and see what happens. And hopefully at some point you will start eating enough consistently enough that your body will decide it's worth communicating with you. And that's a wonderful thing, and that should be the aim, actually getting, because at the moment your body's not communicating with you. Your body's hungry, I can promise you that. It's not communicating with you because it doesn't think it's worth it, probably. But if you start getting enough food in, if you really, really do that, I anticipate that at some point that hunger will come. And that can be just as scary. Careful what you wish for, because I've known a lot of people that don't have mental or physical hunger that are just like, oh, I wish I did, it would make it so much easier. And then it comes, it scares the shit out of them, just like it scares the shit out of all of us. So, but it is a wonderful thing, and it's a great thing to try and, like, imagine it's like a dragon and you're going to start to poke the dragon with your eating. Poke the dragon. You want to wake that dragon of hunger up. Go in there with a big steaming fiery rod and stab that dragon. I hope it wakes up. Best of luck.